Hello everyone, it's Leo, and in this video we are going to talk about some interesting trivia about Tropical-Rouge Precure that was shared in an anime edition. First of all, I want to say thank you to Hibiki for bringing this information to us, the fans, and translating it for us. Those are very interesting information, and in this video I'm also going to share some of my theories concerning Asuka and concerning the witch, the mermaid, and the future of Tropical-Rouge Precure. So we have one interesting information about each of the characters, and let's start with Manatsu, our main girl, our rainbow lead for Tropical-Rouge. It's like very interesting to think that we have a rainbow cure as a main character of a season and not a pink one. That is groundbreaking, and the first fact is related to that. Manatsu was always supposed to be rainbow with white details, or actually Cure Summer was always supposed to be rainbow with white details because the producers wanted for her to stand out amongst the Cures. And because of the fact that she is rainbow plus white, Laura's hair was decided to be pink, because that would make the team even more colorful than it is. Now let's talk about Sango. The producers said that Sango's personality is probably the most normal one out of all the girls. And because of this, she might not stand out as much as the other characters. Because of this, she is the closest to the audience. She is the one that the audience can relate to the most, and she is supposed to be the audience surrogate. And even though she might not stand out as much as the others, they are making sure that her charm points are being highlighted throughout the narrative. And I feel like they're doing a very good job because Sango is very adorable, and the fact that she is the most normal one and the closest to the audience probably is the reason why she is the most popular one amongst at least the older fans who vote on the Animage character poll. She is always the one that is ranking the highest among the Tropical-Rouge cures. Now let's talk about Minori. We know that Minori has a past with the literature club, and we saw that in her episode number 4, but they never touched on that topic again. But the producer said that that plot is very important to her character, and we are going to see how her first year was. We are now following her in her second year at school, now that she knows the girls and she's part of the Tropical Club. But in her first year, she didn't know the girls from the Tropical Club. I mean, Sango and Manatsu weren't even students at the school, and obviously Laura wasn't either. And so she didn't know the girls. So she had another circle of friends, or not actually, maybe not really her friends, but that is very relevant to her character arc, and we're going to see more of that in the future, and we're gonna know how this first year was for her. Now let's talk about Asuka. We know that there is something between her and Yuriko, and something happened between them in the past, and this is gonna be important for the season as well. We're gonna learn more about that in the second half of Tropical-Rouge, which we are already in. And there is also something interesting about Asuka's character. She is a third year. That means her graduation year is very close. So this is also going to be an important plot point for her character, and we're going to see more on that in the future. I believe we're going to have emotional moments close to Asuka's graduation in Tropical-Rouge. Now let's talk about Laura. We know that Manatsu has a very expansive personality. She is always grieving, she's always very happy, and because of that, Laura was supposed to be the opposite. She was supposed to be very gentle and kind and considerate of others, but they changed that because they thought that she would have been forgotten amongst so many big personalities like the Tropical-Rouge team, so they made Laura as she is nowadays, and let's just say it, because of this new personality, she just stole the whole season and the whole story. Now, another very interesting fact about the production phase. The director of Tropical-Rouge, Yutaka Tsuchida, and the series composer, Masahiro Yokotani, had so much fun discussing the comedy scenes of this season that the producer, Murase Aki, had to step in and remind them that the battles should be discussed as well. Look, I found this fact super interesting because it really highlights how much fun they're having while writing Tropical-Rouge. And look, I'm always the one to complain about the battles in Tropical-Rouge, but you cannot complain about the comedy. And there are obviously other great aspects of Tropical-Rouge in my opinion, but the comedy is gold, like every time. So we can really see the passion of the team while creating those scenes. I just love it. Now let's do our theory corner here. First of all, I did a live stream with Inu here on the channel in which we talked about our theories and ideas for the second half of Tropical-Rouge more deeply. But now I'm going to show them here. I'm going to show at least my theories here in a shorter way. The first one is Asuka's theory. So I have a theory on what happened between Asuka and Yuriko. In Asuka's debut episode, episode 5, we saw that Asuka looked at the tennis court and she was reminded of something. So I believe that Asuka and Yuriko were past teammates in tennis. So you know that tennis game that you play 2 versus 2? That's what I'm talking about. I don't exactly know the names. I'm sorry. But I believe they were tennis partners and they were part of the same club, the tennis club. But something happened for them to grow apart. What I think happened was, we know that Asuka lives with her brother and her father. She doesn't have a mother. And I believe that she lost her mother more or less at the same time she was playing with Yuriko. I believe she had a great dynamic with Yuriko and they both played together very well. But because she lost her mother, that made an impact on her. And not only the emotional impact it has, it also made her focus more on her family. We learned in a past episode as well that Asuka is responsible for lots of things at her house, just like her dad is and just like her brother is. They're each responsible to different things. And so I believe that because of her mother's passing, she had to take on, all of them had to take on bigger roles at home. And so I believe that made her grow a part of the club that she was in. And she didn't have a good communication with Yuriko concerning this topic. So she was just drifting away with not much time to dedicate herself to the club, to the tennis club. And so they just went on drifting apart. Also, in a past episode, Yuriko threw a big shade towards Asuka, saying that now Asuka is focusing a lot on the club, something that she didn't do in the past. And Asuka was like, she had no reaction. So I believe that their quarrel happened because Asuka didn't give the club attention, the attention it needed. And now Yuriko sees that she is giving that attention to another club and she's like, she throws shade towards Asuka. That is what I think happened between both of them in the past. Now let's jump on to another topic of Tropical-Rouge, which is the Mermaid, the past, what happened. We know that in the past, there was a cure. There was a precure that fought and saved both land and sea. We heard about that in the past, but we know nothing about the cure. We just saw her silhouette. And we don't even know if that silhouette is exactly who she was or if her looks are a little bit different. We don't know details. We just know she exists. At the start of the season, we see the big queen of Grand Ocean telling Laura that for a precure to be born, a human heart has to resonate with a mermaid heart. But she is clear in saying that humans are the ones that can become precure. But I actually think that the past precure was the queen herself. And I think that we saw that happen in that episode. We saw the forest mermaid. The forest mermaid was a past mermaid who was actually defending the earth or the sea. We don't know exactly what she was defending, but we know that she was defending that chalice full of motivation. That big chalice was being haunted by one of the villains. We don't know if it's the witch or if it's a previous villain or if it's Butler. We have no idea who that villain is. And so that past mermaid actually saved the chalice and didn't let the past villain use that motivation. So she was already fighting to preserve the motivation, so that's why she took that motivation and put that motivation away in a cave. Also, the queen already knew that for a precure to be born, there is a human heart and a mermaid heart, both of them having to resonate. But I think she told that to Laura because she knew that if she told Laura that a mermaid can become a cure, Laura would have tried to do it all by herself. She wouldn't have tried to find a human and to find a friend and to strengthen their bonds and relationships, because she knows Laura's personality. That is why I think she kept it a secret. But I think she is the original cure, as in, she was friends with a human when they were both younger, and we saw that someone, as a child, saw that mermaid in the forest, which was the time when the chalice was saved. So this woman is now an old woman, she's an old lady, and this mermaid is not a young mermaid anymore. And as we see in Grand Ocean, the difference of size between the queen and Laura is huge. So that makes me think that the queen has been a mermaid for a long time. I think she exists for a long time. It's more or less the same as the witch. The witch is probably an older creature too, because she is huge compared to Butler, compared to Laura. And so I believe both of them have this duality about them. Not duality, but like they have this similarity between them. They're both older creatures that have been living for a long time. But they don't look old, they're just older because of their size. Like they don't look human-sized like Laura does, for example. But I think that the mermaid, when she transformed into a cure, I think she was human-sized and she found a friend in the human world. I think this friend is Mafune, the director of the aquarium. She seems very sus, very suspect, and we're always on the lookout for her. And I think that the mermaid became a cure after she saved the chalice and everything. Maybe she found Mafune when she was younger, like Monatsu's age now, and they both became friends, and because of that she became a cure and she defended everything. So that's why Mafune is always talking about the mysteries of the sea and how there are so many things in sea we don't know of. She knows something, but she's just not ready to share them. So I think that the cure, the past cure, was the queen. Oh, and there's also, like when Laura became a cure for the first time, the queen gave her her pact, but it was a stone pact. That was her pact when she was a cure originally. And then it just became stone because she's not a cure anymore. The power is an ancient power. It was just preserved as a stone. But now Laura is a cure, and so the power is back. But like, that is also very suspect. Like, where did she take it from? Or maybe that is from the past queen of Grand Ocean. I don't know, but I believe it's her. I just believe it's her. Anyways, the plot in Tropical-Rouge is finally moving. Slow, but it's finally moving. And I think the season is gonna bring us lots of surprises and great plots it is already bringing. There's also the point of everything that the witch is doing. Why is she doing what she's doing? We know that she wants to rob the world of motivation, but for what? What is her purpose? And we also see that the villains, or at least Elda, probably the other two as well, Shongire and Numeri, they are worried that, they're not worried, they are doing what they're doing because when the Fool's Casket is full of motivation, their wish is going to be granted. What is their wish? I am so curious. I think their wish is for them to become humans and for them to be humans again. I don't know. I'm just, making my brain work, but I can't come up with answers, but it's always nice to theorize, isn't it? Anyways, this was it. Hibiki, thank you once more for translating the information from Animage for us. I think this is very interesting, and it's always nice to peek a little bit in the minds of the producers and know what they were thinking when they were creating the season. I always love to see this kind of thing. And it's also a hint to what's to come in Tropical-Rouge. And I'm loving the season, so I'm very excited for more. Anyways, I want to take this time to thank the members of the Magical Cinnamon channel. If you are a member, thank you very, very much for your support. I really, really appreciate it. And if you've watched up to now, thank you so much as well. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye bye.